Little extra dirt, don't hurt.
Little extra dirt, don't hurt. Cheers.
I'm just the captain of the ship. Right
You
now,
are
so
100%. You kind of keep us all together.
I try.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
for
we're
sure.
not recording yet, I
No.
swear.
Okay, yeah. I was
Say
like,
whatever you
well,
want.
Yeah,
He's such a
Okay,
liar.
speaking of dirt, what is the
Ooh.
dirt? Oh, one of the dirtiest things right now in Quincy. So we have the road construction going on Broadway.
It was my car
It
up
was-
until yesterday.
Okay, great. Yeah, it was. Did you get it clean, Randy?
Yeah.
The rain.
Yeah, mine detailed. It was nice.
I'm talking about dirty cars, and the dirty cars are the ones that ride up the lane, even though you see lane closed, you know, up
Oh,
and down
yeah.
Broadway. You're riding up the right side, seeing all these cars blocked, but you're just riding up the right side.
You think you're going to get
and
in
then
there.
you think you're going to get in there. So who's the bigger asshole? That person
Or the person who lets them in.
person that lets them in?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's the person who pulls up there because he knows somebody's going to let him in.
I think the person who pulls up there is filthy. I also think the person who lets them in is a giant cuck. I just
Oh
want to
my
be like,
gosh, I love it.
You know, because I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
don't
both-
be a pussy.
Two things
Do
can be
not
true
let
at
that
once.
person in. Huh?
Two things can be true at once.
100%.
I have seen those things online though. That it's like when you don't let people merge in, and I think there's a difference because like in those online things when they're like when you don't let people merge in, it's like more like highway traffic or this, and this. There are clear signs.
Yeah.
And
If it's clearly marked and you know the person is just trying to get away with something because they are impatient.
but like you're
that's
also
different.
seeing this line
I had
too.
that.
Like,
I
you
had
see the
that
line.
this morning on Broadway about it was like 6:30, 6:45. Pulling out of Starbucks, and yeah, you could see it coming. And I got in the lane, the proper lane, and some guy went up there, and the person right in front of me was slowing down, and I laid on my horn,
Yeah.
and they kept going. Didn't
Don't
let him
you
in.
do it!
Yeah.
Didn't let
Don't
him in,
you
and then
do
I
it!
went by and I just said, "Not so fast, my friend."
Now, one of the things that, so like school pickup, and one of my kids is at senior high, and there's always so much congestion.
God, I don't miss that.
The zipper philosophy, you go, then you let somebody come in. Then
Yeah.
you go, and you let
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
come. That's a foreign philosophy for a lot of Quincyans when you're trying to get people, you know, like it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, because in St. Louis, it's kind of like it's a known thing.
Yeah.
If you're, you know, if you have two different lines of traffic, you zipper. One, then one, then one, then one. And
Yeah.
but not a lot of people know that.
Right, I get it.
I try to stick to it, and it's one of the few things that I constantly talk about with my kids. Come on, just zipper. They're like, what? Mom, God. enough
I
with
remember
zipper."
though, like in the school drop-offs, though, coming from the north side when the drop-off was like at the south side, and like so the north side people would still try to make like that left-hand turn. I always would like go around and whip into then the south side
Yeah.
drive-through because if you're trying to make that left-hand turn, not only are you inconveniencing everyone that's in the proper lane and the
Right.
proper line, but the rest of traffic that's trying to get around at 8 a.m. in the morning,
Are you a left-hand turn on Broadway?
Wait.
Like if you're turning onto Broadway and you need to turn left and you need to cross all
Those
lanes of
people need to
traffic.
burn in
I
hell.
hate
Wait, what?
that.
Why?
So let's say you're coming out of Starbucks
Yeah.
and you need to take a left because you need to be going east,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
But in order to do that, you have to fuck up every line of traffic and people are
No,
waiting.
I'm not that person.
No.
Okay, I'm
That's
not
awful.
either.
They're
I
the
always take a
worst.
right and then figure out a way to
Yeah.
get back in the right direction.
If I have to make the left from that area, I'm going to go to the stoplight at 33rd.
Yeah.
Where you should go.
Right.
No, but there's been many times where I like see somebody going and they'll see, okay, they're going to go left. They're like, oh nope, I'm going to go take the other exit just so I can go right.
Just pull up and wait don't put on your turn signal and wait for about 10 seconds. If the spot opens up, turn left. If not, turn right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And-
if there's nothing
and-
coming, fine.
And the thing on the highway, if somebody goes blasting past me at 80 miles an hour in the lane when they know they got to get in over here pretty soon, no, they don't get in.
No.
If they're inching along like, oh crap,
I
missed
gotta
it,
get
missed
over.
it,"
Yeah.
then go ahead.
You can
Yeah.
kind of
That's
tell the
fair.
intention.
That's fair.
Speaking of staying in your lane,
She looked at me hard. with
yeah.
that.
I was like,
No,
uh-oh.
well, I want to know, like, what are your thoughts on the Sports Commission? There has been a lot of feedback with this as it approached. We had a meeting recently. They gave a recommendation. That does not mean that they're actually building there. Things that are actually happening. Quincy City Council still has to approve of it. But they gave a recommendation right so this happened right at the same time that our 6 point whatever tax levy passed. The commenters in our sections are like, are we blind? Are we not hearing things? What are your thoughts on the city being involved in a sports complex? Real quick more, the sports complex gave lists of different activities possibly involved, some of which included pickleball, some of an indoor trampoline park.
It was
maybe?
it was a laundry.
It was a laundry list of things,
goodies.
and everyone is like,
What are we doing?
"What are we
I
doing?"
thought we wanted courts. I thought we wanted courts. Sports courts. That's what we're supposed to do.
But I also think that, if you're going to bring something like this here, you have to give it room to grow, because you have to kind of look at it as a phased project. So when I took the survey, I said we should look at it in phases. We know we have musts, we know we have wants, and we know we have basically what I call wish list items. So that
Pie
would
in
be
sky.
like, right? Some of the best sports complexes that I've been to have a bar restaurant. They have bowling. They have things for little kids to do, because one of the missed variables is a lot of parents are dragging younger siblings to these things. So they have to have something to do.
But
the money that it's going to bring in is kind of what should drive these types of activities. Also, how we're going to afford it, whether it's private.
This thing should be a hub for those activities, but we already have a bowling alley, and we already have Scotty's, and you're going to have Pizza Ranch, and you're going to have all these
Right.
things coming in.
And we have a trampoline park.
We have a trampoline park.
The best
and,
trampoline park.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know what that was all about. I thought that was a bit much. I also think that, they opted to use the land by the Blessing facility, which was fine. They're given the land, but you know that that's going to happen. And if it does happen, then the land around it, which is still owned by Advanced Physical Therapy Real Estate, then they can do what they want with the land surrounding it. So if they're the ones that want to develop private things like
Right.
hotels and restaurants,
Sure.
more power to them.
Right.
It's a brilliant strategy by them to say, hey, yeah, we'll give you 10 acres for free because we're going to take the other 50 acres around it and develop it
Right.
and make money off it. So I have no problem with that.
Sure.
I don't think there's 8 votes on the city council for this thing,
I think it's a forward-thinking venture.
which is not our city council.
I also, right. I also, well, I think some of them, but I also think that, in conjunction with the tax increases and
Yes.
everybody's struggling, people are questioning, is this something that we need to do? If we can figure out a way to fund it, either privately or, there are ways to do it that don't really burden the taxpayer,
But you
but
also-
can still benefit us. And I think that those are things that we have to look at. We have to look at those different options.
But let's not have it turn into the OLC, which tends to offend some people because the OLC uses does a lot of weddings there and takes away from private companies that can do
Yeah, I was
weddings.
surprised that wasn't on the list. And an event
And
center,
an event center do
too.
weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's let the current people do that. And the Oakley Lindsay Center puts on a lot of great events, and they do a lot of good stuff. But then when they have, do the other stuff to kind of fill in the dead spots, that's when it kind of annoys some people. I mean, I like going for Hairball, and I like
Yeah.
going for some of the other cool stuff they do. And of course, QCT's awesome, but they're kind of two separate entities under the same roof.
I mean, I think if the city is funding it with taxpayer dollars, which is really I hope that's the
It's going to be
last avenue,
It's
right?
going to be food and beverage and
So,
hotel, motel.
well,
money
I'm
that's gonna
hoping that
fund
it's
it.
not. If it is, then we have to keep our wish list small, because we're going to have to, right?
That's the only way they're going to be
If
able
it's
to pay
privately
for it.
funded, then I think we have to just say whatever they want to put in there is whatever that is put in there.
I think the majority of this, though, like you said, if it's city funded, then we need to look at this is our Hail Mary to the pension problem.
Mm-hmm.
This is our Hail Mary to our tax levy problem. If the state is not going to listen to us, even though we still should look at those state avenues, then this is maybe our city solution.
Yeah.
I do think, though, in that solution, we need to look at, like you said, our needs. I don't understand why we need all these studies to, understand our needs. We already know we need, club sport courts,
Yeah.
volleyball courts, indoor soccer, this, or this. Why are we looking at all these entertainment avenues? Instead, you should be using those things that already exist and use those as a connection or sponsorship to this.
but
We
what-
already have, like you said, the bowling alley, the trampoline park, the event centers, this, and this. Have them help in this. Let's like all come together in a communal.
Yeah.
And again, you talked about the state. So the Speaker of the Illinois House, Chris Welch, is from Proviso, East or West, one of those places up there. The state just gave his district $40 million for a sports complex. Ooh. So say 2-3 years down the road, Jill Tracy, Kyle Moore, C.D. Davids-Meyer, the people who represent Quincy Adams County, say, and even though they're in the super minority, say they manage to sell this to their colleagues and say they get 15, 20 million from the state. Are we going to turn that down?
Is this
It'd be
after
interesting to
our
see.
sports complex
No,
is already?
to help
To
pay
help pay
for the
for it.
startup of the sports complex. Say the state were to say, yeah, we can put this together and we can
Depends
put
how
together
you feel about grants and
15
funding
to,
and
and
how
it's great, but
much-
all the people who hate that kind of shit,
But how much understanding do we have about how those grants and that funding funnels down to how much we pay in taxes? I mean, I don't think we have a good enough understanding that everybody likes grants because the money is there, and if we don't take it, someone else will.
Yep.
But it's still affecting our
Yeah.
tax dollars because we're still
somebody's
paying
going to
for
get it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Right.
I mean, if
So it depends on how you look at that.
I mean, if somebody does, if the state were to say, here's $20 million, and it's like the people who bitched about the vets home. It's like, come on, don't do that. It's like you're not. That money's going to go elsewhere if you don't use it. So if our legislators are able to put something together that helps pay for maybe half this sucker, then that's not a bad thing. And I know
Also-
we're like, oh no, we don't want that.
You don't wanna, also,
whatever.
You don't want
Okay.
to compare though, like thing with like the
Veterans home to
veteran
sports,
to
yeah.
sports.
But
like,
I
a
think,
need to,
but one of the
all
things
a
like
want. It's
Glenn
a need.
Sanders brought up, which I think is a really valuable point that I would like to be explored a little more, are the kind of the gun sports. So hunting is huge here. It's a huge
we were already getting the big
underserved.
federal money for Triangle Lake and Quincy
Right.
Bay and all that. That's already happening. The funny thing is that now the sports complex is on the front burner. And again, Triangle Lake is all part of the thing. Boy, I think the riverfront's never been deader than ever.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm just
Anyway.
saying, I don't know if the commission still meets. I mean, so
It'll be interesting
and
to
I think
see
this
how
mayor
everything
has
shakes
made
out,
it
but-
pretty clear that the sport. I mean, she didn't put together any riverfront committee task force. She put together a housing task force and a sports
I
complex
think,
task force.
and that to her, I will kudos because
That's also because the
it's
park district doesn't want to do it.
Not just that
And it's
though,
their
like
land.
our riverfront dream did not produce the money that this sports complex dream could possibly
No question
produce.
about it.
So like
100%.
end.
but more important than, I mean, I don't want to say more important, but we have all these ideas and these lists of things that we want. Not only how are we going to fund it, how are we going to market it, how are we, because that was one of the big complaints about the K&L or, the
K&L
Oakland
was
Lindsay Center.
private.
Huh?
K&L was private.
I know, but they didn't do a good job of marketing themselves to these clubs to bring people into a very central place like Quincy, and maybe that wasn't their idea. But when people
Also, K&L was
say,
out in BFE where nothing else was.
when they say K&L failed, I don't know that that's necessarily true, and this is a different animal. So
Yeah.
to compare the two
No,
is kind of backwards.
Because if this one, if this does take hold,
Mm-hmm.
then I would assume that the city would put somebody in the position where they're running that.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
sure.
making sure that we get tournaments in here. And for those that
what they
say
did with
like
the Oakland
we
Lindsay Center.
missed the ball in those tournaments.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
That I
Because we're
would
traveling, somebody said, well, we're traveling 2 hours, there's this one and this one and this one. Listen, if I didn't have to travel to spend a weekend to watch my kid play sports and have other teams come and enjoy all that Quincy has to offer, that would be amazing.
Or at least 1 or 2 less weekends a year.
Yeah.
Say you're going to go travel a dozen weekends, now you're only going to have to travel maybe 8 or 9 weekends. That's great.
I just want Quincy to have the opportunity because we are so central that if we can pull it off in a way that isn't going to burden all of the taxpayers, I think that it only is going to benefit us in, our local businesses that we're talking about. So if we do it the right way and we put the horse before the cart, we do
Yeah.
it the right way, I think we can really, really benefit from this.
I think when people are saying, again, St. Louis has already done it. This and place has already done it. It doesn't matter who's already done it. If we can get ourselves into these tournaments or host tournaments ourselves, parents that are in club sports are going to travel anywhere. It doesn't matter if they have, big restaurants and shopping there.
Right.
They're going to travel wherever they need to for their kid because that's what parents do.
Absolutely.
And then you're going to explore all that Quincy has to offer.
Uh-huh.
And again, even though there's not big name stores or shops or whatever, we have lots of local love to offer, and beauty is in
Shut
the
your mouth. We got a
eye
Target.
of the beholder,
Target
and
TJ
that's
Maxx.
what
What
I've
more do
been
you need?
saying over and over again. I said it to Holly Kane earlier this morning on our morning show. She is one of the best people that, is the person
She's a
that
catalyst for really good stuff. In Quincy.
optimist
Yeah.
can find something in nothing and then make it into something, and then it is actually something, Another person that can do that is our guest that is coming up.
Yeah.
I'm so looking
I'm not
forward.
ready to segue.
Well, I am.
Oh,
not.
because we were talking about.
I want to talk about your cheating alma mater.
I don't want to talk about that.
Why not?
I was going to say.
Are you ashamed?
Let's talk about
Is Shane
sports.
Halsey ashamed of Quincy University?
All right. Before we talk about how our
And
guest,
I want to talk about this eyeball that's staring at me off her chest. It's
before we
bothering me.
talk about our guest, who is a person that is, can get the beauty out of everything. Let's talk about the beauty in, I guess, the shame in our alma mater.
Well,
Okay.
so I think.
Is there
okay,
beauty in this?
So here's what I think. Number one, this gal who was inaccurately fudging these eligibility.
Why are
for
we
these
not saying
athletes.
names when the name was?
I don't
in
know.
our
It's
I don't
Taylor
remember.
something.
And you
It's
said
not Swift.
No, it's Taylor.
I don't know
It's
either,
in the
but
story.
like you did the same thing on the news thing, like where we
I didn't
kind
wanna
of
screw it
brushed
up.
over the name. I was wondering, like, do we not
I don't
No,
know. why
Taylor-
not
they're-
name shaming?
Taylor
No, it's
was.
Taylor. It's not Taylor Swift, but
No,
whoever.
she was in
Zerny.
charge of the eligibility for the athletes and was inaccurately marking them eligible. Give me your thoughts on this. Do you
Is that
think
not something everyone does?
number one, that's what I think is it's par
Everybody
for the
cheats,
course,
just some people don't get caught.
right? But also, was it her acting alone?
Yeah.
And
do you think
why
She
would
took
you
the
do
fall.
that?
She said
Wow.
nobody knew. She
Wow.
she doesn't work here anymore.
She works
went
at Maryville.
Not anymore.
Oh,
She
okay.
gone. No, she's now been. The NCAA have put a show cause violation on her. She can't work in that capacity at any school for 2 years. She's out.
Okay.
So she's gonna have to go find another job.
My thing is, the fact that she took the fall, I wonder, if you're taking the fall, did you get something for, no way. I don't know. Like, you can.
Also,
I
she
can't
did
imagine
this all on her own.
Every
no
time,
way.
every time I'm thinking about
Why?
a story,
know,
I'm thinking
here.
this. I'm
Why would it
thinking-
benefit her?
I'm thinking this. Would I do something like that to jeopardize my future in something that I love to do on my own accord? Am I getting something from the athletes? Am I getting something from the parents? Am I getting something from the school, the coaches? There has to be
Okay.
some give back there.
Knowing
because you're
how
not just going to say,
knowing how Quincy University operates, this is my theory. This woman was probably trying to do the job of 2 to 3 people.
Okay.
And was probably so overwhelmed and so whatever. She was just like, okay, fine. That person has a pulse. They can play. They're fine. That GPA, no. Yeah, I think she was just like shuffling it, trying to get
was
it
just
done.
like, forget about it?
And again, and she says she didn't let anybody know. She didn't tell her supervisors. Okay, but. Yeah, I'm with you a little bit on
does
that.
she work now? Is she going to be working in the future? That's what
Not
I
for-
want.
she's not. Well, she's not going to be
maybe
working.
She's set, man.
You're saying she got enough money. Well, if you check the Q financials, they don't have the money to pay people off like that.
Well,
Let's be
it's not-
perfectly
it's not-
clear.
it could be parents. I mean, it could be anyone. I
No.
just can't imagine anybody being like, yep, I'm just going to, this is my job.
I don't, yeah.
And I'm going to do it
And-
so wrong that I'm willing to
This
not
is-
only lose my job,
There
but
is
lose
so
any future opportunities.
much more.
There's something
But
more.
poor Gary Bass, his last 3 years, he's now 0-33. He had to vacate all his wins.
I'm just,
It's
I
terrible.
think
There's so much more
I
to
think
this story.
there's more to this. I don't know.
Well,
that
you go
we'll
find
hear
Taylor
about
Swift
it,
and
but-
interview her then.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Whatever her name is.
Also, I mean, and I know you said whatever he did, but what he was supposed to do, the new athletic director, Josh Raby, found this and told on them right away. But like,
That's what he should
You
do.
self-report.
That's
If
integrity.
you don't self-report, the NCAA is going to whack you even harder.
Integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody.
gonna whack you even harder.
Yeah. Which, hey, I
Through
mean,
the moon, Alice.
good on him for doing it. I think it was necessary. I think he probably knew that if it didn't happen that way, it was
he
going
tell-
to be
yeah.
uncovered anyway.
Yeah.
And then
did he go straight though to the NCAA?
He probably went.
or
My
the
guess would be.
administration first.
My guess was that the administration went to the conference.
Okay.
The GLVC commissioners, Jim Nimovich, who's a QU alum and former QU
Yeah.
guy. I'm guessing they went there. Hey, we did this. We messed up. We gotta
Yeah.
put this all out.
Well-
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on this that they did that
How'd they
for all the
find
right
out?
reasons. Well,
See, there's more to the story here. There's more to the story.
did you read? I haven't.
Part of it was
I've not been able to
read-
thoroughly read. Did
I
you read
read-
the PDF that was attached to it? The 85 pages that were in the
Oh,
PDF
no,
attached.
I
There
just
you go.
read the article.
Well, read that.
So maybe there is more to the story. I just
So
haven't
read
read
that.
it.
Matt's put a very nice article together,
Okay.
but it's also got a 15-page
Yeah, I'll have
document
to read
from the
doc.
NCAA.
But I always think there's more to the story. There generally
do.
is always
Yes.
more to the story. So more to the story with the eyeball sweatshirt. So this is my
creeping
buddy Sean McCarthy. It's SMD, which you guys can figure that out if you have a brain like mine. But he had a brand for a really long time, and I don't know if he still does, but he does some really cool stuff. I've had I don't think so, but I've had this forever, and I had pants, and the pants had a taco money pocket in it. It's just really unique taco money because he loves tacos, so he would build like a special pocket in his pants specifically to keep his taco money in it.
I have the coolest leggings from him that were like, there was like mesh on one side, and everyone was always like, where did you get those from? Because it was, I don't know, they were really well designed.
Yeah.
He is a talented person.
Very talented.
Local.
He did.
Did all those people ask by ending their sentences in prepositions?
What?
Where'd you
He
get those
did.
from?
Where'd you get those? He also designed.
I
Oh,
talk
God.
like a normal person, and I write like a normal person too. Like I write the way I speak.
And you wrote a lovely story
And-
about
and-
Mrs.
and-
McDowell. Let me
Thank
tell
you.
you that right now.
Thank you very
Let me
much.
do
But
this
I
while you're
write the way
railing
I
on me.
speak, and for those like somebody on our "It's Beginning to Look Lot Like Christmas" photo series, I had wrote like a small caption about Washington Park and saying, "Hey, check out the district. You know, they're gonna have their last Santa, blah blah blah," and they're like, "Last ever?" And then Brianna Rivera, the director of the district, has to
Last
come
of
on
the
and say, "Last of the season," and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, excuse me for not
Yeah.
giving you the
SMD.
whatever." Also, they didn't even announce their thing for the
Spelled like
next
this, though.
season.
SMD.
Coming at me
Did
for
they
coming
say,
at
hey,
me.
don't trip over the dead body in Washington Park? That would've been
Actually,
wrong.
yes, that was one of the comments.
Somebody said
too.
that?
Yeah, no, they said, "Oh, they're trying to brush over the fact that there
Oh,
was
for
a dead body."
sake.
For that person that said that,
God,
guess,
I was
guess
making
what?
a bad joke.
No, but guess what? It's like crazy. Like you think, like we're gonna recognize
don't read
Washington
comments.
Park for that. Do you know how many dead bodies have been in Washington Park other than that? And just like north of Washington Park, I believe, like right behind Times Square, we had public hangings. Are we thinking of public hangings when we think of Times Square? No. We get past
This
these
took a
things
real
and
dark
look
turn, guys.
And we look in the beauty of what is within.
Yes.
The beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
The eye.
I've
Dang,
seen
it all
Brittany
does-
almost
it
dead
really
in
does.
Washington Park after a couple blues in the district.
Well, here's the thing. I want to make sure that we're not being crass about the life lost in Washington
No,
Park. So it's not a dead body. It was an individual who lost their life, and this individual has
And
loved
dead bodies
ones. So
were
I
done.
want to make sure that
Yes.
we're not being
No, but like
crass.
we can't look at Washington Park forever for being
No,
the place of
never.
this.
No,
you
but
know?
that's somebody's, yeah, whatever.
That's not.
But
that's
you're always
not
going to
what-
have people that comment, "Don't stop reading them." You are a beautiful writer. Your article on Constance McDowell.
Yeah,
Connie,
no,
was,
her real name was Constance,
Constance.
and
Was
I didn't
Constance,
know
it
that
was,
until
yes. You read the
It was
obituary?
probably
Yeah,
one
sorry.
of the most heartfelt, well-written, and you write well all the time. But
I
this
write
one was
the way I speak.
But this,
You
but
write
it's
a
because
hell
you
of a lot
put
better than you speak, let's
you
be
put
honest.
You put so much heart into it.
I love your writing.
So many
Your
compliments
speaking on the
this.
other end gives me an ulcer, but your writing is wonderful.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
Pitch to our guest now, Brittany.
Good
No,
job
I've
on the
already
article.
tried it. I've said it 5 times. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and this beholder has the beauty of Quincy. She has been she was a graduate of QHS. She has since left, went to LA, has made a incredible career. I recently came upon her. It's kind of crazy because small world. We went to school for a short period of time. She would have been a sophomore when I was a senior, but QHS was huge, and it was huge in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to know everyone. But I was talking in the bar to somebody about this sweet show. It was Perry Mason. And they said to me, "Did you know that a gal from Quincy actually made an appearance in that show?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I looked it up, and ever since then, I've been a fan. I can't wait for you to check out our guests. Stay tuned.
It'll be cool.
In the not-too-distant future, the Illinois Theater will be turned into a performing arts center. That's on an upcoming Muddy River Gems brought to you by Dot Foods.
We're aiming for a multi-purpose civic center. So this lobby area will be able to host a lot of different things and make this a family-friendly location.
It's going to be quite a trick, isn't it? Yes. So we'll take the 4 theaters, we'll open them back up like it used to be for one large auditorium. There'll be a separate kind of black box theater, a smaller venue for them as well. But yeah, we'll take this kind of chopped up area and turn it into one big usable space for the Center for the Arts. That's coming up on the next Muddy River Gem, brought to you by Dot Foods.
Okay, so we're waiting for action to taste your martini,
Okay,
I
okay.
guess.
This is the martini.
Yeah.
Brittany martini. Okay.
Well, sort of. I feel like mine's less dirty than yours. I
Oh.
don't know.
It's great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it dirty? Too dirty?
I swim between the dirties. It's fine. Sometimes I would put maybe a little bit more in it, but this is
Really?
great. Yeah.
I felt like I put too much olive juice
Oh
in
no,
it.
no, no. It's good.
So she likes them
Yeah.
dirty.
Some people say there's no such thing as too much olive juice.
She likes
Right?
them dirty. She is Brooke Trantor.
Hi there.
Thank you
Hello.
for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this.
I am too. It's good to be here.
Good to be home?
It is good to be home. Yeah.
And how long are you home?
I'll be here through like the first week of January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you got a couple things going on.
Got a couple things going on. Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, this Saturday on the 20th, and then on January 3rd, I'm having a screening of 6 films that I have directed over the past decade at the State Street Theater. It's kind of an introduction to the community of the work that I've been doing as a professional filmmaker. A lot of people know me as an actor. That was how I was raised. That's what I did here. But a lot of my career, kind of the trajectory changed as the industry has changed, and I just want to introduce people to that before a few more endeavors. I want to bring them,
And then
on.
a second showing, I guess, on January 3rd.
Yep, same screening, same program. Just a lot is going on in Quincy at this time of year, so
very
wanted to
busy.
have a few different ones.
What exactly are we going to expect in this screening? Because I want to talk about the screening first before we get in depth with you.
Yeah.
So the screening, you said December 20th, January 3rd. How do people get involved, or how can they get there?
Get tickets on Eventbrite. It's on my website, brooketrantor.com, through the State Street Theater. I think it's on their Facebook and my Facebook as well.
We shared it a couple
It's
times,
everywhere.
too.
Yeah, it's on Muddy River. And be sure to grab a ticket. There is a VIP hour the hour before from 6 to 7, and that is going to be up in the historic green room where they used to show films when it was built in 1930.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And they still have the original table that all the reels were on. It's really cool.
It is cool.
So we're kind
Cool
of
space.
zhuzhing that up into like old Hollywood style. We can take pictures on the rooftop. We're gonna have champagne and charcuterie. And then I'm going to give like a little rundown of my plans to shoot my first feature film in Quincy.
That is very exciting. And why do you feel it's important to shoot a movie in your hometown?
I think something that I've been told for a long time, which I have subscribed to, but you change as you grow. That's what they say. I think that's true. Is to write what you know. And for so long, I think that I was still looking outside of myself for those stories, like, oh, but I have to entertain and it's got to be this or that. And coming back home the past few years, especially experiencing loss, as anyone does with the privilege of growing older, I have really just kind of dug into the history and roots of this place. And it's wild, the things that I have not been aware of growing up here. I've spent many hours in the Illinois room at the public library over the past few months, and it's just kind of astounding. So I've kind of fallen in love with Quincy again, and this film just kind of continues to write itself the more time I spend here.
I want to touch on that a little bit because I
Yeah.
kept saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I want to take it back a second and
Yeah.
talk about, like, you keep calling Quincy your home. So Quincy is your home?
I think many places are my home, but
Yeah?
like my family's still here. I was raised here. My heart is here. That doesn't mean that I don't take it other places. I obviously live in Los Angeles and adore that place too. But I think that's the most beautiful part about like allowing ourselves to expand, is that we become different parts of ourselves in different parts of the world if we allow ourselves that chance to explore. what's even more beautiful is coming back and kind of, you know, not to be too woo-woo, but like having conversations with your younger self, like really diving into like the past and the path that you've been on and the path your ancestors have set you on and the sacrifice that so many people took so I could choose to do the thing that I love is like a very empowering, spiritual, and, you know, just wonderful thing to sit with. And I've been allowing myself to do that.
How do you, real quick, sorry, how is that possible too? Because I know some people are like looking at this and they're like, how is that even feasible or possible where you can be at one place at once and then another place at another? We talked a little bit about this and I'm trying to like think of the logistics behind it. So you were talking about how you moved back for a little bit, but you kept your apartment in LA and I'm like, how? Like how? Because the people around here can barely afford, you know, a 1-bedroom apartment. So how are you doing this?
Oh yeah, and my industry is in like a very strange place right now. After going through the pandemic, we had 3 strikes, then we had the fires that like decimated our industry. It's been quite literally a horrific time, and I just want to like put out there that I think what we see in the media of Hollywood is like 2% of what it is. 98% of Hollywood are blue-collar workers.
Yeah.
You have your lighting guys, your gaffers, your costume designers, your makeup people, the extras. That it's such a gritty business, and to me it's unfortunate that people don't get to experience that because I think they see the glam and they're like, oh, that's that.
Yeah.
And that's the tip of the mountain. That everything else that supports.
That's the magic that, you know, I guess, like, we want to look at it as magic.
Yeah.
If we saw all that grit, then maybe it would be not so magic for us.
Kind of the Disneyland effect. Right.
When you, in the current state of the industry, though, there are so many options. And again, with the internet or with whatever, and with, you know, now it's not, it used to be, okay, I've got to go work for one of these studios to do whatever. But now when you've got Netflix and Apple and all this going on, you've got all these options. And, you know, you were a part of that as well in one of the series that you had a piece in. But I think that the opportunities are there. I just think it's very, you know, how does someone break through? What is it? Is it just, I just got to keep working my ass off?
Yeah, I think this is like a very long conversation.
Please.
because
It's the
of the
internet. We have time.
mergers because of the mergers of the studio system. It's a very murky world right now. The opportunities really aren't there.
Really?
Which leads to what I think has to happen and what we're about to see. I'm going to segue. Hang on. A lot of the research I was doing in the Illinois room. I've been reading a lot of Mary Astor's books.
Yeah.
Not just books that were written about her. She became a prolific writer. When she was not getting the roles that she wanted and when Hollywood decided she was something that she was not, she decided to start using her voice.
And she was Quincy's first star?
No, I mean, there were some before her too that went on. She was I would say maybe the most prominent person to win an Oscar from Quincy. But her writing is incredible. Sometimes I joke that it feels like I'm reading my journals sometimes, which is so interesting because 100 years ago when she was in the studio system, they were going through something like this. This is when the studios were outright buying actors and putting them, you know, on a year contract, and then you did anything that they said. You had to do any picture that they movie that they said. So it is interesting. I think like every 100 years, like we're reinventing ourselves. So I'm trying to hold on to that hope of like, okay, they made it through that into the talkies, and the talkies were successful. We're still watching movies. But I think right now what we're going to see, what I'm feeling is that people are ready to tell their stories and make their own work. And I think that right now it's going to be this kind of like artisan revolution of indie filmmakers really just supporting one another and lifting one another up. I think that's this next chapter because the studio system has failed us in terms of not only producing our art, but having any sort of realistic career path.
But again, 25 years ago, an indie filmmaker had no outlet.
Right.
Now they do.
Right.
I mean, with the internet, you have the outlet. You can do whatever, and if it's good enough, and if enough people like it, somebody's going to pick it up, and it can get not mass produced, but it can get more of an audience.
Yeah, truly. And I think people are building audiences that way. I think that's been a really interesting experience for me. Not that I have made anything that big yet, but coming into contact with fans or people, I've met so many people online or on Instagram that I've ended up working with because we're able to see each other's work in a way that we never would have before. So I think that I think that's so true. It's a really great time to be connected in spaces far away from us.
So it used to be that in the order to film anything, you needed tons of lighting, all of, the very expensive camera, the sound team, the this, the that, and now modern technology has made that all much easier. Do you find that that has helped you in producing your short films, or are you still back on the, everything production when you do these things?
I think it depends on the project and
Okay.
what budget is being brought to you.
Okay.
Like I was in New York a few weeks ago. I was inspired by another film set I was on producing. I was like, I want to make a short before I leave for no money. And I did. And no money was like $1,000, right? Okay. But like I paid crew for lunch, like got some camera deals and stuff. But it's like if you really have that conversation, really believe in your script and get people that hungry to tell a story that you're excited about, people will do favors. However, you also reach a point in your career where I get very excited about the next chapter. I can't wait to pay people their worth. I can't wait to bring people into the circle and lift them up and say, I see you, I see your art, I see your voice, I see what you're doing, and here's a check.
Okay, so how do you do that? Like, how are you producing
You keep going.
the checks? Like, you're just filtering through your own personal finances, or do you have people behind it, like in production, or
Right.
like how does that work with the short films?
Totally depends. I have financed my own before, which was like much more on the low scale side. I also had a writing partner where we were gung-ho, gonna do this, pay people, like scale. Scale is like the industry standard per day. And that one, I think we spent like about $25,000. Then I've also been hired on as a director to other writers' films. And they go and they get the money however they're gonna get it, whether that's individual, like private financing through family members or people they know, or crowdfunding is a big thing for up-and-coming filmmakers like on Seed and Spark, or like, kind of like the GoFundMe of the film world.
Yeah.
So that is an option as well. So it kind of depends on the budget, how much people are willing to invest in themselves, and if they are going to be asking their communities like to support them.
Which role do you prefer? Do you prefer acting? Do you prefer directing? Are you just in this
Everyone wants
osmosis?
me to answer everyone wants that answer. I am in a place right now where one does not take precedence over the other. I'm interested in telling truthful stories. Truthful storytelling. So whether that's me lifting up someone that has a short film idea or feature or TV show, whatever, if that's me lifting you up and making that happen, I believe in it and it resonates with me, let's make it happen. If I'm being brought on as a director and I believe in it, let's make it happen. If it's a feature film that has been on my heart for 10 years and I'm gonna write it and I'm like, and I'm gonna star and direct it and produce, okay, I'm gonna wear all the hats. So I think it just depends on the project, but my core being right now is just very passionate about telling truthful stories that the world will relate to.
So on the one that's going to be Quincy-centric, what is your role going to be?
I've written the script. I'm in second drafts of that with producers. I will also be producing it, and then I will star and direct it.
So the
Okay.
script is complete?
It is. No, I'm not going to email it to you today, but it, yeah, we're finessing. Yeah, it's
Massaging. Massaging.
Yeah, for a couple months massage. It's gonna really work it out. But yeah, you're never really finished, I think, with a script until we're day one on set.
Before we get into that actual script about your Quincy love letter, I love that you deemed it that. That's beautiful. I always think of, just anything. When I write stuff, I'm always trying to think of Quincy, and I try to think of it as this is going to be my love letter to you as when I'm writing. So I love that you deemed that. But I want to step back on to Oh Baby.
Oh yeah.
So I watched that recently.
Oh great.
Loved it. You talk about doing you're doing personal reflections and empowering women and giving women their voice.
Mm-hmm.
This particular film, when I was watching it, I didn't know which way it was going.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready for her to get up from the table and be a centaur or an alien or something. I really had no idea where it was going. But she ends up and she's pregnant. You don't have any children of your own, right?
I do not yet.
But you have, you encompassed this woman and pregnancy to a T. I can't express it. I was that woman. I don't know how to tell you that. I was kind of doing it on my own. I didn't land that guy at the end.
The dream guy?
No.
Yeah, that's why we wrote him.
Well,
He's our dream
not
guy.
that. I mean, I landed my dream
Yeah,
guy
of course,
at the very
of
end, and that
course,
was long after I gave birth.
Yeah.
How did you, though? I mean, you encompassed that. Did you have friends that were pregnant that have like told you these things? I mean, you really made that happen.
Right.
I was just like,
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. It still just like makes my skin tingle when people really are
was
that
a good
attached to
one.
it.
It was a good one,
Thank
Brooke.
you.
It
I'm
really
so
was.
proud of it. It is my baby. So first I'll say, if you're seeing this before Saturday or January 3rd, please still come. That was like a surprise. It's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
but I have to talk about it because it's important, but like,
Hashtag spoiler alert.
no, but it's still, I think it's a great reveal. Like you will still be surprised, right? You don't
I was
see it
though.
coming.
It's Hollywood,
Yeah.
so I'm like waiting for like the something
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Like I'm like, she's an alien. She's
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
she's
yeah, yeah.
that. And then I was like, oh my God, that was great.
Yeah. So I don't know if you knew this, but that's my best friend Kate, and we wrote it together.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know, she is actually pregnant.
Right now.
No, in that film.
Oh my gosh, yes, yeah.
She's 9 months pregnant.
I was about to say, like,
Okay.
there was no way that
No.
you were like putting
No.
a pillow in that
No.
and making, that
No.
did seem very, very.
Yes.
Wow.
So she was.
She also looked beautiful from
Yeah,
like,
she's
you.
stunning.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah,
Kate, you
absolutely
amazing.
glowing. Absolutely glowing. So she had been on set as a consultant producer on Yours or Mine about maybe a year before. And that was the first film that I acted and directed in. So it was really important for me to have someone there that really knew my work as an actor. So if I was so wrapped up in the directing portion of it and like worried about shots, for her to pull me aside and be like, go further. You know what I mean? Like those people in our lives that are really going to push us. And she was that. And then after we wrapped Yours or Mine and we went on the festival circuit, I think she just like got this bug and was like, wait, I want to do this. It's like, great. What are we doing? She's like, wait, really? I was like, yes, literally, what do you want to do? This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is what I want to be doing, is lifting up stories from women. So we start writing, and she has this dream. And she had a miscarriage, and she's my best friend, so had gone through that grief process. But then literally a few weeks later, had a dream. And she's like, we're gonna write a film where I'm completely pregnant. And it's going to be sexually empowering for women, and I just see it. And me as a best friend, I'm like, I love it. Love the idea. And also there's that fragility of the experience of loss, and yes, you are going to get pregnant. We are manifesting that, right? And she's working with all these like very spiritual people to like truly manifest and pray for this healthy pregnancy. I'm like, let's just wait until you're pregnant and then we can start writing. She's like, no, we have to write it now. Okay. So we're writing, and it's good for her, like in the grieving process. I think it's like good for her to be creating and writing. And I'm telling you, a few weeks later, she got pregnant with Cal.
Manifest.
Wow.
Manifest.
She got pregnant, and it was so like beautiful, not only to be on that ride as her friend, but as a fellow creator. And then it was like, oh wait, so you have due dates like in the film world, like deadlines, but now we got a real one.
You got a real one.
We got a
Yeah.
real due date here.
This is a hard deadline.
Yeah, so it was riding up until the point that we would shoot, and understanding that like, oh, at 8 months you're going to be maybe uncomfortable. So then we have to be shooting at this time, which means we need the script this time, which means we need to be forming our team right now. So it was like the most unique, weird experience, but so specific, so beautiful.
And you ended up winning an award for that, right?
Several.
What were
Several.
some of them?
We won Best Film at Dances with Films Festival in 2021. That's at the Chinese Theater. It's one of the biggest ones in LA. That was like, they're like my family, so that was very profound. Kate's won Best Performance at several film festivals. We won Best Director at Broad Comedy Film Festival in LA. I mean, it's also screened all across the world, so it's cool. And what's weird is that like we started screening it at festivals right when we shot this in the summer of 2019. So our film festival circuit was going to be 2020, and that's when everything started to shut down.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is this like obviously the state of the world, yes, my
Yeah,
heart,
yeah.
but my film. Oh my God,
Yeah.
wait. So we did some online festivals. We got into Oscar qualifying festivals that I then had to like decide, like, do we pull out or do we do the online thing? Okay. long story short, we ended up having a 5-year festival run, which is unheard of. You end up like having like a year essentially. But I was not giving up on this. I believed in this so much, and she was just kind of like, do what you do. I don't know, okay. I was like, I am, and I just don't have an ego about things, and I don't care about like poking people. And I'm like, here's our short. And a lot of festivals made exceptions for shorts that were made in 2019 or beginning of 2020 because of the situation.
Sure.
So yeah, we ended up screening. I mean, we had a screening a few months ago. So it was kind of like the film that kept giving in the most beautiful way. Yeah.
Let's rewind. Go back to A building.
Oh boy.
You loved A building,
Yeah,
right?
that's a real big rewind.
It's a rewind. Yeah.
Loved A building. Yeah.
And
Wow.
Quincy, I graduated 07.
07. Yeah, 007.
So you went through the whole Sherman, Dooley, Burnett. You went through the greats.
Oh yeah.
What do you remember the most out of that time? What was the thing that you learned back then that you still take with you today?
I think perception is everything. And as an actor, that's a hard lesson to learn. We come up through high school or theater school saying, I can be anything. Tell me the script. 80-year-old woman, got it. And in high school, it's fun because you get to do that. That's not how acting works in the world. Actually, when you're 22, you can't play an 80-year-old woman. I know, it's so crazy to hear. But that was like a huge hit going from this is my love, this is something that has been fostered in these communities of high school or K through 12 and then college and then I'm going to do this as a career. There's a huge shift that happens. Well, I look back on, and I might get emotional like talking about it because it was such a profound moment. It was when we did South Pacific my junior year, and I was Bloody Mary. And that's like the very comedic female role. I got to hang out with the guys. That was a blast. That was who I was. I was like always hanging out with the guys. But then senior year came and we were doing Seussical. And they had never done Seussical before. And I remember when they announced it, and I was pretty dramatic when I was younger. I feel like I reined it in. I mean, I threw a fit. I was like, are you my senior year?
We're doing Seussical? Yeah.
What are you talking about? And Kathy had to take me aside. She's like, oh, you don't understand. It's a great musical. I was like, it's Dr. Seuss. Just like in my ego. I totally own that. But I'm thinking like.
But you're also
I'm used to
how
like
old
the
at that
classic,
time?
right?
I mean,
I'm used to the classic musicals. Like we're gonna do Beauty and the Beast.
I want to be Dolly, damn it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, this is the big one, you know. And so I kind of like, obviously did the audition. I put my heart and soul into any kind of performing I do. But I remember being like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to play.
Did you mail it in?
I didn't mail it in. I just gave up the desperation of pick me, which was probably the best thing that could have happened.
Did it work for you that way?
Yeah.
How did it end up?
Yeah, and then I remember when the cast list came out and there were all these like female roles. Like I thought I was going to get Kanga as this like kangaroo character or this very like, I forget the names. Colleen got one of them and Libby got one. And I'm going down the list. I don't even look at the top because I'm like, wait, was I not cast? Wait, what's happening? And then I remember all the guys being like, oh. I'm like, wait, what's that? And I got cast as Cat in the Hat. And there was an understanding, I think, which is so interesting to look now at 2025 and like where we've come. There was an understanding that a man was going to play that role. And then talking to Tom and Kathy, and they're like, no, we're doing this because of you. We're literally doing Seussical because we want you to play Cat in the Hat. And that was like a few years after I had started improv at the community theater. I had really found my confidence, my playfulness, my silliness. I didn't care, like I wasn't embarrassed by things anymore. Mm-hmm. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, because they saw me. They saw the growth that I went through. They saw that was me. And it was the most fun role. It's what people still talk about that I did in the weirdest way, but I'm like, okay. But it just reminded me that we are multitudes, and there's so many aspects to ourselves that I think we want to like button up or like like, oh, give me the ingenue, please, please give me the leading role, like, lady. And I had like a sliver of time where that was me. I was Jasmine in Aladdin at QCT. But other than that, it was all these character actors. And I just wanted to be the pretty girl. And now looking back, I'm like, I would do anything to be the character actors, because now it's like, well, now you're literally the thing that you are, the headshot says, so nobody's casting me as Cat in a Hat.
So
you know what I mean? It's like this very interesting lesson.
That's so funny that
young.
you talk about that and you assumed it was going to be a man, but you were Cat in the Hat, because when Alex, my son Alex was a senior year and his group was Jay Stalder, Sierra Schnock, Mackenzie Johnson, that whole bunch, and they did Hairspray.
Yes, yeah.
And Alex thought that he was going to get to play the mom. But then they decided to go ahead and cast a woman as the mom.
Right.
Which, of course, that ain't how it goes.
Sure, yeah.
You know? So that was a bit of a curveball they threw then.
Right.
And Alex ended up playing the dad, and it was fine.
Yeah.
It was excellent, and they were all great. But it's just so funny how in that role they went ahead and put you in as Cat in the Hat, but then for this one, what is 07, 13, do the math, 6 years later, they said, okay, we're just going to have a woman play the mom. And I was like, okay.
Right. Yeah, I think it's like you never know what people are planning or see you as. And what's weird is the inverse happened then when I was in college, because I'm just going to be honest, that's who I am.
Please.
I like stepping into womanhood in that way. Like, I was hypersexualized in college in the roles that I would play. So then it came to my senior year, and I played some really great roles, and we were doing Trojan women. And like the lead is Hecuba, and she is this grandmother who all the men have been slain, right, in the Trojan War, and it's all these women grieving. And when I tell you, when they announced what it was going to be, I was like, this is my senior play. I am going into the depths of research. I was at the library all the time, obviously still doing senior stuff, but I was like, I'm taking this. The same thing happened. Cast comes out. I'm not Hecuba. Are you kidding me? Helen of Troy. So Helen of Troy is like the most beautiful woman in the world that causes
it's not a bad
the war,
part,
right?
Yeah, it's not a bad part.
She has one scene in the whole play.
Oh, seriously.
And it's the monologue. It's like the reason for the war. And I saw this, and it was like the inverse of like, oh my God. And then I remember talking to professors and being like, I worked so hard at Hecuba. Like, I studied and knew that inside and out. They're like, you were never going to be Hecuba. When you were a freshman in college, we decided we knew that we were going to do Trojan women because you came here and your acting was so-and-so. We knew you would be playing Helen. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for
telling me now.
It's just interesting, the lessons that we learn, and as an actor especially, you just have to let go.
College was Illinois Wesleyan in Bloomington.
Yes. Yeah. Couldn't recommend it enough. Incredible school.
So speaking of lessons that you've learned,
Yeah.
one of the biggest lessons, and I don't want to, like, Ashley really wants to know this question, so I want to make sure I get it right.
Oh, wait,
and I'm
what?
sure I'm going to butcher it, but
Okay.
like, we want to talk about what are the lessons you've learned from taking away from, so you were in Quincy, you moved away right away at 18 because you went to
Westland.
Westland, and then you moved straight from there to LA?
Yeah, immediately. Yeah.
Tell me, like, the cultural differences between this.
Between like rural Illinois versus LA? Yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, your personal take of that. Because, I mean, we talk about, rural Illinois, and I know I want to hear your take.
Okay.
I mean, was it a shock to your system, or did you like, okay, I'm ready for this?
I assume it probably was. However, I had lived in London when I was 19 for the better part of a year. I went to a conservatory in London.
Wow.
For a semester.
Cool.
So
not
that
shocked.
was more of the shock
Yeah.
value of like cultural, like in the best way. But I went there. I had never traveled somewhere like that before. I went alone. I was just, it was like being set like where you're supposed to be. Because I remember like growing up here and being like, I'm supposed to be in a city. And I couldn't describe it. And like whatever spiritual thing that is that you, like I just knew. So then London really like helped me with the LA transition. Because when I went to LA, I was like, oh, I get this, like totally. But I think there were certain shock values of, there are so many different things, but I think the most beautiful thing is walking down the street. You are going to encounter so many people from so many different cultures. You literally cannot help it. It does not matter. Yes, of course, there are particular neighborhoods that are designated for different cultures, but for the most part, you're gonna see so many people just walking down your block, and it was the most beautiful thing, because it's not that I didn't see that in Quincy, but I also was like not out walking around, right, or stepping into communities that I might not have as an adult. And I think that has really empowered me. I just come to different communities that maybe I'm not a part of, and I'm like, I just want to learn. I'm just here with an open mind. Tell me about your life. Tell me about your culture. Like, because the reality is we're all so much more similar than we want to believe. So it's like my friend telling me about his Indian grandmother and the things that she would say. I was like, yeah, my grandma said the same thing, except it was it was like this casserole, and she made that samosa. It's like, oh, it's the same.
Yeah.
So that was the most beautiful thing. And then when my parents got to visit for the first time, taking them out to dinner for their anniversary, I just remember, like, my mom has traveled maybe a bit more than my dad, but I remember my dad just kind of taking that in and be like, this is really cool.
It is really
You
cool.
just like sit back and watch so many people pass you by. And that's what inspires me. That's what continues to inspire me. Even here in Quincy, like, I just want to choose to see the most beautiful romantic parts of life. That doesn't mean that the tragedy doesn't come with it. That's life too. You can't. But that was probably the biggest shock, was like, oh, you just like spit yourself out in the middle of LA and you're going to see a lot. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that, because I've never put myself out there like that, where I relocate. That's kudos to you. That takes a lot. Let's take it back even past A building. When did you decide that this was for you, or did the A building make that happen?
Well, I don't remember. I wish I remembered a specific instance, but my parents kind of frame it as it was the first time I was on stage. I was in Peter Pan at the Quincy Community Little Theater, so that was on Payson before.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, just gonna age myself.
But they kind of put you in that, right?
Oh yeah. So I was 3 years old. I think I was already enrolled in soccer, which I did for like 15 years after that.
So they saw this in you.
Yeah, and it was pretty
this.
immediate. There's like a video that might end up in my feature. It's pretty hilarious, where I'm Tinkerbell. I'm supposed to come out and like sprinkle Wendy and Peter with the magic. Okay. So I do that. I'm supposed to go around twice. And you see me look at the audience and see them looking at me, and I just continue to go. And my head just continues to turn to them, and I'm just smiling. And 7, 8, stage manager has to come on the stage and take this girl off stage. And my parents were like, yeah, that was like pretty clear. The spotlight was kind of your thing, all eyes on you, not uncomfortable at all.
Yeah.
And my mom, like, we grew up in the 90s, so we would make our own little films with our camcorders.
Giant camcorder.
My dad called it the
camcorders.
dinosaur.
Yep.
Before we had the smaller ones. But we would make our own movies. We would make our own like interpretations of Britney Spears music videos. And I go back and watch them. And what's weird is, like, I always knew I acted in them. But what's weird is like going back and watching them and being like, oh, I was directing everyone.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, type A, like, you go here, you go. And my sister being like, I'm done. Like, there's one video that's so funny. I've been telling her what to do. We're just opposites in the best way. And I'm like, no, you can't feed your baby like that. You have to do, this is not real. You have to like really do it. She tosses the baby across the room. She was like, I'm done. I'm not playing anymore. And I go like this. I smack my head and I go, you're going to have to wrangle her. I say that to my mother. Where did I hear the word wrangle?
Your mother.
You're going to have to wrangle her. Just the most insane, like, preposterous. Anyway, but I see like glimpses of myself. I'm like, yeah, okay, we were always gonna do this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think there was any shying away
No,
from it.
I don't think so. Yeah. And there was never a question. That's the weirdest thing, is like the delulu, as the kids say, delulu faith in myself. I've never doubted this for a second.
That's amazing.
Even in the hard times, I don't know what it is. Delulu, I guess.
So what do you tell the kids here in any small town? Because, you know, the stereotype of the girl who goes out to LA with the one suitcase and she's going to waitress and she's going to do all this.
Well, I had 5 suitcases. Let's be real.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I packed that car.
But what do you tell that kid? What do you say to him?
you can do it. You can do anything. You really can. And I recognize that I came up from a very, I came up from a working class family. It wasn't handed everything, but I did grow up with a certain amount of privilege that I want to recognize, because it takes a lot for this career. When I meet actors that have no relationship with their families, I do not know how they do it. My family has been my rock through all of the ups and downs. But what I will say is, like, you will find your family out there if you don't have it here. And if something is really calling to you, you have to follow that. Life is just too short, and you feel like, oh, maybe someday. I actually had a professor tell me that. The week I was graduating, I got an offer from a theater in Chicago, huge theater at the time, huge casting director, had come down and seen me, offered me a role. And my professor said, and I had already planned to go to LA, I was like, oh, well, I have to go. It's like, do not even think about it. Because the second you go there, you're never gonna go.
You're going to stay in Chicago.
You're going to go, yeah. And look, I did a lot of improv in Chicago, and I know people that had like great success and then move out to LA, but there is a certain amount of like, oh, I'll go the safe way or safer way and then go further, which I could have done. You know, I ended up having a huge career in improv, but there was something about ripping the Band-Aid and just going, oh my God, I'm going to say no to, okay, I'm saying no.
Has there been a point, even like during all the shit that we all went through during COVID, that you said, oh, fuck this, I'm done?
Never.
Always, I'm going to do this.
Sometimes I don't understand. I don't understand why I'm still like in the trenches. Why am I still digging through the mud? I know what I have to offer. I know my value, both like talent-wise, artistically, monetarily. Like, you want to like see the finish line, but I think if you are committed to this life, it's like, okay. I had a teacher tell me this once. If I told you that you make it, whatever that means for you, in 10 years, 10 years, would you still do it? And that's why I say it aloud to my students. If I told you 10, 20 years, you make it, would you still do it? And that is the question I continue to tell myself. If I get an audition in and I'm not excited by it, I go, ooh, what was that? And it doesn't happen. Because when I get an audition, it's like, oh, I get to do the thing, right? Because the job is not even the job. The job is the audition.
Yeah.
You said students. What is that about?
Oh, I've taught improv. I've ran an acting studios teen program for acting before. Yeah.
Cool.
We're hustling. We're doing all the things all the time.
You really do. You do everything, and you're bringing it back to Quincy, especially at this showing. I love that you're giving Quincyans a little bit of Hollywood, a little bit of the Hollywood glam. So, like, if you did want to enjoy what Brooke has to offer, especially just the taste of Hollywood. Like I said, that very first time when I was talking about Perry Mason, and then somebody was like, so-and-so from
so
Quincy
funny?
was here. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what is it? The 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is so
funny.
awesome. You know, I
Okay,
think
now I've got to do the 7 Degrees from Brooke to Kevin Bacon. I got to figure that out.
But I think anybody that thinks of, you know, when we hear people from Quincy making it in Hollywood, bringing Hollywood back to Quincy, we want to get involved, obviously, because I think we're all living vicariously through, you know, the shows, the movies, the entertainment that we do. So this is your chance to do it. This is your chance to come see it. This is your chance to get involved. I love that the State Street Theater is hosting it for you.
They've been incredible, yeah. And Arts Quincy has helped a lot too.
Yes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Arts Quincy, just the whole community
Yeah,
is
it's
getting
been
behind
wonderful.
you. Not just Muddy River News. Girl, you have networked yourself. You know how to network yourself. I have seen you on every single thing, and I love it. So I'm really hoping that, you know, Quincy shows up and shows out, because they would be missing out to miss this opportunity.
Well, I just want to say it is an honor to bring this back and this work back, and it's not like, it's not in vain. I want people to see what it means for a community to build someone up in their purpose.
And then say that again. It's not in vain, because it's not.
It's really not. And these films are not that. You'll see, like, I think these are films that have, again, like the through line is women embodying resilience through so
much
many
women empowerment.
So,
Girl, I was fired up after I watched this. I was like,
Yeah.
It was so
But
good.
you know what's
I
cool?
can't wait to see
I
the
do have to
rest.
say, you brought up Oh Baby and how you like really.
Yeah.
Okay, when we're at festivals and men come up and they go, wait, I have to say, my wife, when she was pregnant,
Yeah.
she was so XYZ.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there. Yeah. And I'm like, I love it.
I'm
Great.
like,
Tell me
imagine-
more.
Yeah,
Like,
imagine doing that alone. They didn't have those apps back when I did that,
Yeah.
so I was like,
yeah,
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It
was
was
fun.
it was a good film. I can't wait to see the other films. I plan on viewing them at one of your showings here
Great.
coming
I'm
up.
so
I
glad.
love
If
love,
not
love.
tomorrow, January 3rd.
Great.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you
Yes.
so much for giving us 2 opportunities because I do think December 20th, I understand it's around the holidays.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're always looking for something to do.
Yeah.
But there's always something to do. That was like the other thing that I learned is like, wait, there are so many things on so many nights. Like I had to pick and choose, and there's just so much going on. It's very exciting.
And thank you for embodying Quincy and everything, like with the Park District, the Sea Quincy, the this, and this. I keep saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You really are holding it together. Holly Kane loves you. I know the Park District loves you. I just learned about all those pollination gardens because of you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for
It's
that.
wild, right? There's
Yeah.
just so many little treasures.
You got to check out Brooke Trantor. You can check her out on, can you give your website and your
Yeah,
socials?
pretty easy. Website is brooketrantor.com, and then all my socials are at Brooke Trantor.
Also, you can just Google her and you're like, holy crap.
Well, I don't know. Google. The
Google,
goods.
Google,
There's a
Googler.
lot there.
Googler.
The
So
goods.
thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you
and,
sincerely for having me.
Best of luck
you.
as you move forward.
Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
choking
Thank
down
you.
my dirty.
Thanks for watching.
Pretty good.
Here's to
Blacking out and making babies.
what?
I'm joking. No, I don't want babies. I mean, I
Fuck the babies.
don't want to fuck babies.
All right, well, cheers to that. Let's do this. Oh,
Is that okay?
let me just think here.
Okay.
They say he was in the stock market.
Honestly, the whole thing just screams Epstein.
Screams Epstein. His kids aren't even here. His ex-wife hired us to literally replace them. Why? All I'm fucking trying to do is survive, you know?
I don't want to be a magician. I want to be a doctor.
You can't cook for
She's right.
tonight, like Jodie Foster. We make contact.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's a classic.
I think you're gonna be a great mom.
Yeah.